Well, thank you for that introduction, Nicholas. It's difficult for me to hear that sometimes, although it has been a great story. It is still quite surprising that we were able to find so much gold in front of existing infrastructure. I think I've put this picture up for the last 2 years actually, so apologies if it's looking boring, but basically this is what we do. And just to sort of hark back to how Nick introduced the story there, a lot of the stories here are starting from that ground floor, from that sort of sub 10 cent, sub 20 cent kind of area where we were. And every single one of them has the same opportunity and potential to turn into, and I'll correct Nicholas here, we are a $1.88 billion company. You can do that, and you can do that by drilling, and that's how we've done it. That's our open pit on the right-hand side there, Gilbey's, which was being very, let's just say challenging. It was a very low-grade open pit operation when I first started. The process plant is on the left-hand side in the upper corner there, so everything's very close proximity, and we've managed to outline what is now 2.89 million ounces at 5.6 grams a tonne right in front of that plant. Just go through the disclaimer. Capital structure. We did raise a bit of money late last year, so some of these metrics have changed. Our market cap, as I said, over 1.8, let's just leave it there. We raised money at $1.32, so we're still sitting above that raise price, despite raising $220 million to progress our story. We have no debt, and courtesy of that raise, we now have over $270 million in the bank. What we're doing with that money, I'll go through that shortly, but we are continuing to drill, and we're putting an underground drill drive down next to that open pit from the side of it to go and access these 2.9 million ounces so far that we've defined. Courtesy of our, I suppose, the intrinsic value we've created there, Ramelius Resources has shown its hand by taking 19.9% of the company. It was 18.3% prior to the capital raise, but they stepped up and have got themselves into a position now where they can't acquire any more unless they want to launch a bid, which is an interesting position for them to be and also an interesting position for us to be. And I get asked all the time, what is Ramelius doing? I'd have to direct you to Mark Zepner and Ramelius to ask him that question. I don't know what they're doing, I just know that they're very interested in what we've found. Our location, Western Australia, probably the best jurisdiction in the world to find high-grade gold and also to mine high-grade gold. As I said, almost 2.9 million ounces at 5.6 in front of a plant. We're surrounded by roads, you can see the infrastructure there. We're actually surrounded by some of the highest grade and best performing gold stocks on the ASX. So Ramelius is sitting about 65 kilometres away to our east, and then you've got Westgold just to the north, and Silver Lake, or Vault as it's now called, just to the south of us as well. I apologise if that's getting feedback. Am I booming too loud there? All right, good. So what we're doing is just focusing on finding more high-grade gold. It's been a successful strategy so far. We're not going to stop doing that. But what we are doing is building that drill drive, which will turn into a mine access. Whether we own it by the time it gets to that ore body that we've found, never, never, and the Pepper deposit right next to it, we'll find out, I'd say, fairly shortly. That's the layout of the mine there, looking back towards the west. The Gilbey's open pit area is where the light blue ellipse is. The Pepper deposit, which was one of our most recent discoveries late last year, or middle of last year, about 800,000 ounces there now at a grade of over 10 grams a tonne. All underground, it was a blind discovery. And the Never Never gold deposit, the green ellipse there, is about 1.5 million ounces. So from zero to that, 600 metres from the plant and continuing to grow. It's a pretty incredible story. Just some resource tables there, just to sort of drive things home here. From the time I took over the company in November 21, we had 700,000 ounces at 1.3, and I can tell you it wasn't going through the mill at 1.3. We very, I suppose, highly anticipate that we'll be putting our grade through this mill at a much higher grade than that, in the order of sort of 500% higher grade, if not further north. 400% growth in ounces, 430% growth in grade, at $16.50 Aussie an ounce, and when you consider it's, what is it today? Anybody got the 4,600, I think maybe a little bit higher than that too. And the gold price in US dollars is also pretty incredible. But when you think about it, we're discovering this for less than $20 an ounce. And it's consistent drilling that's done it. So as I said, and I'll drive home again, every company that you'll see here today, they drill, they find, they have the potential to turn into a multi-bagger, just like we have. That's the long section there, looking at back to the east again. We're actually, I suppose, underground here. The Never Never deposit on the left-hand side. The Pepper deposit right next to it. Sorry, I'll just go back to that slide there. This is the Never Never deposit here. Pepper's right here. And our newest discovery, Freak, which has been a little bit underwhelming so far, but we aren't able to drill it very easily, so we're putting in that underground drill drive to allow us to drill all of these targets that we've outlined and grown since discovery. And again, just harking back, we only discovered Never Never in 22, so it's been a very short time span to build that almost 3 million ounces. And our plan is to grow it north of 4. I'd like to get to 5, to be honest, of high grade, not just low grade, let's just put it all on the table and make a big number. I'm certainly targeting high grade, and that's what our guys and girls are looking for at the moment. The colouring there, the yellow area is indicated, so very high conversion of resource to indicated with a lot of drilling. Those dots represent drill intercepts, coloured by grade obviously. The sort of shaded line that runs down through the page there is actually the cross-section that I'll show next. The black line is the design for the drill drive, and that's over halfway to Never Never on the left-hand side there already. The right-hand side's already finished. This is a cross-section of the ore body looking to the north, so that's the old Gilbey's pit. In the upper part there, the drill drive itself, that's the projected location in the hanging wall, and you can see the ore body, the red area, is just sitting between two gabbro ore bodies, gabbro rock types, which is just the green areas, and it's very consistent, very easy to follow. It's very easy to hit that sequence. The key is to hit it where there's high grade. If I take it back to this again, and I'll draw in a couple of lines here, hopefully you can see them. There's a high-grade chute that runs down through here. It is offset. There is another one through here. We know that there's another one through here, but we need to be able to drill test it. And then if you sort of imagine in the back of the page there, this is not a consistent section. There is two series of ore bodies here. The Never Never Pepper and Freak trend sit in the foreground, and you've got the Four Pillars and West Winds, which is part of the Gilbey sequence sitting behind it. There's also high-grade chutes there. So that's West Winds, that's Four Pillars. It doesn't join to Freak, it kind of looks like it does, but it doesn't. On the right-hand side, there is a plan view. You can see the two areas. So on the left-hand side, you've got your Never Never Pepper and Freak trend, and then you've got your Four Pillars and West Winds behind that. They are related. They were offset at some stage. What we care about is these high-grade chutes that we can target and hit, and that's what that drill drive is all about. Some of these drill hits, again, I've rolled this out a few times, but and I'm sure some of the people in this room have already seen these hits, but this is our top 20. You don't see drill hits like this every day in these ore bodies. We've managed to put together a top 20 that makes your eyes water. When you think about most mines are mining sort of 2 to 5 metre wide ore zones, and we're talking about consistently hitting things that are over 10 metres, sometimes 20, up to almost 60 metres wide, it's a pretty crazy system, and the grades are the key part. We're talking very high grade, very thick ore body, very consistent. All the good things you want to hear when you're a miner. This is our growth path. So as I said, July 22 on the left-hand side to December 24 on the right-hand side, you can see the massive growth in the chart there, right up to where we are now, which is 2.4 million ounces at 9.3, which is the high-grade component of that 2.9 million ounces that I was talking about. That is an exceptional grade. It puts us in the top tier of undeveloped gold projects in Australia, not by ounces, although it's pretty healthy, almost 3 million. Let's just say we're talking 2.4, but that 9.3 is unmatched in the undeveloped gold space. Ounces per vertical metre, the purple area is very high grade, obviously. As you advance down through the project, you get Never Never in the top part there on the left-hand side, and then through the centre you've got Never Never, Pepper, and potentially Freak to the south there. They will be mined as consecutive ore drives, and that puts our ounces per vertical metre over 4,500. It used to be a bit of a benchmark at 1,000 that you would have an underground mine that would be profitable. depending on the grade. But this thing is wild. So 4,500 ounces per vertical metre, and we're planning on building that as we drill down with this drill drive. This is just to really drive home. This is stope optimizer shapes. This is where the engineers put all of the numbers in, they put the resource into their stope opti software, and they work out what is economic, what the grade's going to be, how many ounces it's going to be. They define the stope sizes there. Every single one of those squares that's outlined there is a 25 by 20, 25 metres high, 20 metres long panel, and that panel is coloured by grade on the left-hand side there. The orange ones are over 6 grams a tonne. And you can see I've counted them, there's just short of 100 panels there that are over 6 grams a tonne. On the right-hand side is ounces. The red ones are coloured by how many ounces are in there. Those red ones are over 10,000 ounces per stope panel. So a 25 by 20 metre stope panel with over 10,000 ounces in it, when you're looking at the gold price, is just phenomenal. This is our drill drive. I'm just going to accelerate here, so I'm happy to take questions afterwards. The drill drive's going in. It's over halfway to Never Never now. That's what it looks like in plan view. On the right-hand side is an image looking back out into the open pit. This will become an underground mine, like I say. Plan A is for us to build that. Plan B is for whatever else happens. Just to give you a bit of an image here, that's an aerial view of the site. Just to show you the full layout, the airstrip on the right-hand side, you can see the Gilbey's open pit and the conceptual Never Never open pit are already outlined. That's the Never Never conceptual open pit there, the actual Gilbey's pit to the south. And then as we spin around, you can actually see this is the Gilbey's open pit with the Gilbey's resource, yellow and brown. At this point in time, we're not focused on that. We are focused on getting this conceptual mine design in place. There's over 50 levels on that concept at the moment, and we haven't even found the bottom of these things. You can see the drill drive. If I just zoom in a little bit here, you can see it coming out of the pit. There's twin declines. I apologise if anyone gets vertigo. You can see there's a lot of things going on there, right? But basically what we're trying to show is this is going to be an underground mine, and it will be of considerable size, scale and duration. Given that we've come from a struggling miner that went into administration once before, and now we're looking at this kind of setup, it's, again, hard to believe sometimes. That's the resource itself shown. That's the drilling that we're going to get underway. We're already funded to do that. So 65,000 metres of underground drilling, that commences next week. So we are rapidly going to grow this. We're going to be able to drill Freak from underground. We'll be able to drill all of the Four Pillars and West Winds areas first under the Gilbey's pit. I don't talk about those too much, but adding that to the 3 million ounces of high grade we've already found is exactly what we're planning to do. 30 seconds left, Nick. Our strategy, I'm sure you can tell, our strategy is to drill. At this stage, we'll be putting that drill drive in and we'll be drilling some more from underground. 85,000 metres is already approved, and there will be more. Regular news flow from drilling. The way we've built this company to almost $2 billion is by being very active. And I did put a LinkedIn post out the other day, apologising for not being noisy enough, but we're about to get very noisy again, and this year is going to be huge for Spartan shareholders. Maiden reserve, middle of this year, that's a big deal. Project study to show when we can go into production, how many ounces we're going to produce, how quickly, and let's say how much it's going to cost. We'll put that out in the middle of the year as well. That's just to put to bed some questions that I also get. With the gold price where it is, would we rather be producing? Sure, I'd rather be a cash-generating business. This will be one of the lowest cost gold mines in Australia. The capital raise we did, that's how it's broken down. I just want to be very transparent. A lot of the time people announce capital raises and then don't tell you what they're going to spend it on. That's what we're going to spend it on. Unfortunately, it cost me $9 million to raise $220 million, but that means we can do everything we need to do, including getting all those long lead items to go into a gold production phase. Facts. We just deliver. Drill, discover, deliver. Within 24 months, we'd grown this to over 2.3 million ounces of high grade. I'd ask you to look around and see who else has done that. But what I am going to point out lastly is that any one of these companies that's here, whether they're gold, copper, lithium, whatever, they drill, they find, they will grow value for you. So get involved.